A lot of people are fearful when it comes to artificial intelligence, but for me, I just see a great big puppy. What in the world do I mean by that? Well, just like opening up that special Christmas present and looking down inside and seeing that brand new puppy, you're filled with all this excitement and joy and wonder and curiosity. And you see all the possibilities of fun that you can have with that puppy. And AI is very much the same way. It's young enough that we've just opened up the package and just started playing with it and seeing all the different things that it can do. And there's lots of great possibilities out there with artificial intelligence. But there are some other realities of owning a puppy that I think also apply to artificial intelligence. Today I want to share with you 3 ways that I think artificial intelligence is just like a puppy, and the last one is probably the most important. Hey Junior Devs, Dev Mentor Dave here, helping you bridge the gap from learning to code to launching a successful career. Now there's lots of things you can do with AI these days. Leave me a comment below and tell me some of your favorite ways to integrate AI into your life. First of all, let me say if you're not a dog lover, shame on you. You should be a dog lover. After all, dogs are man's best friend. They're awesome, they're loving, they're loyal, they can't wait to see you. In fact, I have 2 dogs, and every time I come downstairs from my office, which is up in my bedroom, they just run up to me and they look at me as if they haven't seen me since like forever. So dogs are the best animals in the entire world to have as pets. And there's almost nothing as fun as having them as a little puppy. But with that definitely comes some issues. Almost 2 years ago now, we actually got a second dog, and we decided to go ahead and get a puppy this time. The first dog we got was from the shelter, and so this time we thought we'll start with a puppy so we can raise the dog from the very beginning all the way up. Now, I don't consider myself to be an extremely sentimental person, but I have to admit, that puppy was really, really cute, and we had a lot of fun with that puppy when she was younger, and now she's much bigger. But no matter how cute that puppy is, you're going to be dealing with some messes, and it could be in the forms of accidents, or it could be just them getting into things that they're not supposed to be getting into, and sometimes tearing up things that they shouldn't be getting into, and things that are maybe a little bit more valuable than we want them getting into. But that's kind of the first problem with AI as well. It can actually make quite a mess of your career. See, artificial intelligence offers lots of really cool features. It gives you the ability to create images based on your ideas. It helps you write maybe better than you normally would be able to write. But with all that power comes a lot of responsibility, and quite frankly, a lot of people really can't handle it. In fact, ever since ChatGPT came out, we've seen an uptick in cheating, in plagiarism, especially among students. I know it's really hard, especially for high schoolers who don't want to do the work anyway and see no point in going to school oftentimes. They want to just do the easy thing. And sometimes it's as easy as just typing the question in a ChatGPT or maybe some other artificial intelligence program and getting the answers they want without actually having to learn something. And the problem is if we're not being forced to learn, then we're not growing as developers. Sure, it's really easy for us to put a question into something like ChatGPT and get a whole bunch of code printed out for us and examples and even explanations. But if we're not actually using that to learn and grow, if we're just using that to copy and paste, it's just like using Stack Overflow too much. And if you're not growing outside of using those tools, then using those tools will actually create a mess for you when it comes to your career path. So you won't be able to sit there in an interview and answer the questions from your interviewers after asking ChatGPT for the right answer. You're going to have to actually know what you're talking about. You're going to have to actually have some real world experience and be able to explain to people what it is you've done with your career. And if you spend a lot of time using artificial intelligence to do a lot of your work for you, you're going to eventually hit a point where people are not going to hire you, or you're not going to be able to get that promotion, or you're not going to be able to further your career, and AI will just kind of made a mess on the floor. So that's the first way that artificial intelligence is like a puppy. The second one's a little interesting. See, now that we had this little puppy, we had to actually make sure that it was going to do the things that we wanted it to do. Obviously, we didn't want the messes in the house. We didn't want the accidents in the house. We didn't want the dog going around chewing all of my wife's shoes. I don't know why she always chose my wife's shoes, but it was always her shoes. Maybe she has better shoes than me. We didn't want the dog going around chewing everything up and tearing into everything and eating the kids' toys and biting cords and all these different things. We wanted the dog to learn to go outside. We wanted the dog to learn some basic commands. It's always fun when you can get your dog to sit or to lie down or roll over or all the different tricks that you can get dogs to do. It's a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. Man, we just kept going out at all these different time intervals, taking the dog outside, making sure that the dog did their business outside, making sure that they associated what they were doing with where we wanted them to do it, and then spending the time and giving treats and rewards and teaching commands and trying to get the dog to understand when we say sit, this is the action that we want you to do, and lie down, this is the action we want to do. It took a lot of time to train the dog. Even though it's a smart dog, it took a while to get them to understand what we wanted them to do. And again, that's just like artificial intelligence. See, AI doesn't just know all of this stuff randomly. It's not just this powerful, all-knowing essence that we get to interact with. That's not how artificial intelligence works. In fact, the whole idea of artificial intelligence is that it's not innate intelligence. It's something that has to be taught. It's something that has to be trained. See, artificial intelligence requires a lot of data. It requires a lot of information to dig through and to sift through and it requires rules. It requires training. There are actually jobs out there for developers to help AI learn what is good code and what is bad code. You can actually go in and write the code to answer the question or write an explanation to answer the question. And really what's happening is we're just telling AI what we want to get back out of it. So AI really, at the end of the day, is just like any other computer. Whatever you put in is what you're going to get back out. And it takes a lot of work. In fact, I was recently working with a client on a project and they wanted to integrate a chat bot into their project. And so we talked to the company that was going to be doing the work, and they said it was going to take at least 6 months, if not a year, for that artificial intelligence to learn the things that it needed to learn in order to be able to respond the way that they wanted it to respond for their industry. And that's months and months of data and inputs and things being run through this program so that it can learn and change, and a lot of telling it, yes, do this, no, don't do that, yes, that's acceptable, no, it's not acceptable. It's a long time and a long process for AI to actually start getting things right. So if you're not careful, artificial intelligence can really make a mess of your career depending on how you use it. And it's going to take months and months of training and work and manipulation and teaching to get it to understand really what you want it to do, just like a puppy. But here's really the most important aspect of AI being a puppy that I think you really need to understand. See, just a few years ago, there was a famous football player who got in trouble because of something that he was doing with his dogs. He was using them to fight others in a gambling scenario, and it was a horrible, horrible thing. And thankfully he was punished for it, and the dogs were taken away and given to good homes. But that's a hard reality about dogs. They can be used for good things or they can be used for bad things. There's lots of great families out there that have home pets and they're just there and they love on them and they play fetch with them. There's lots of great families out there that have pets that are useful to them, whether that's going out and hunting and getting food for their family to help them with that, or maybe it's having a dog that's there to help with a child who has a medical issue, or maybe somebody who's blind who has a dog to help with that. There's lots of great ways that dogs can be used and useful to a family or to an individual. But unfortunately, depending on the owner, those dogs can be used for pretty bad things too. And in the end, that's the reality with artificial intelligence as well. Artificial intelligence can be used for really good and really cool and really helpful things for society, but it can also be used for really bad and manipulative things. People are already using AI to make fake videos of famous people. They're already using AI to make fake phone calls to get people to send money. They're already using AI to interact with people and try to scam them out of money. So just like a puppy that grows up in the wrong household, AI that's being trained by the wrong people can really be damaging to society at large. So we need to be careful as developers that we know who we're working for. We know what it is that they're doing with the work that we're going to perform, especially if it's in any one of these areas where AI is really heavily used. We want to make sure that we're being ethical. So I just want to encourage you, if you're going to interact with artificial intelligence, or if you're going to help build AI in some project, please make sure that you're doing it in an ethical way. You don't want to be one of those owners who uses their puppy for the wrong thing. You want to be one of those owners that loves their dog and has a dog that's nice to all the visitors that come and is very helpful to everyone. That's the kind of owner that you want to be. So now that you know why artificial intelligence is a puppy, you need to understand just a few more things to watch out for when it comes to AI, especially when it comes to your career as a junior developer. Check out this video to learn how you can protect yourself from artificial intelligence making you obsolete. Hey, if you find this information helpful and you're not subscribed, could you please click the subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified the next time I upload a video? Thanks for spending time with me today, and I'll see you on the next one.